So my goal with the Reciprocity Project is so that other people, particularly whether you are in research or graduate students, professors, so that you actually feel good inside and you can stand up and do the things that you actually want to do. It's really about giving hope to other people around the world, other researchers around the world. So, why am I actually sort of focusing on the research community? It's because it has some of the loneliest or miserable people that you've ever met. And the reason is that the career is unforgiving and you work by yourself repeatedly. It's an extremely lonely career. And so you get very much in your head. And if you don't play within these very narrow, defined specifications of what it means to do this thing, you get rejected. You get thrown out, and people don't want anything to do with you. You're ostracized. It's very, very difficult to sort of navigate this career, and it's often not very fun. And so, if you do this repeatedly, you develop either develop a very, very thick skin, you become sort of very cynical with the world, which perhaps I'm at that stage at this moment. But I also know that I can sort of tell people that they're going to be okay. And if I repeat that message enough, if I tell people that they're going to be okay, that man, they don't have to play by any of these games. They don't have to, if there's somebody that is just not good inside, walk away. You're not. It's just not worth it to be part of their life. And the more that I have sort of thought about this, the more that I've seen it, the more I realize, like, hey, wait a minute. Um, I am. A lot of this is like un. It's kind of a stuff that I've been dealing with, I guess, over the years, right? And I think about this. So there's this guy. I actually listen to him a lot because um, I just think that some of his stuff is actually, it resonates with me. One of this is so Gary Vee. I've said that a few times, Gary Vaynerchuk. And there's this sort of saying that he says that really resonates with me, and that is the the feelings that you have that you hate yourself, that it was told to you by somebody else. And it resonates with me because, often you have parents and stuff like that that were sort of hard on you. And that's far from the truth for me. That wasn't parents, but it was very much a sort of market scenario. It was very much being in academia that I became, I hated myself. It was sort of the message that you get. And the more that I have done this, the more I realize, like, screw you, right? Like, I'm pretty darn good. And I am absolutely happy at this moment. If something happened to me, A, I can retire at this moment. That's totally fine. But also, if something was to happen to me, I would go find something else. And I have this sort of nervous feeling right now, sort of describing it, nervous feeling when I say that. But it's very true, rationally true. I would actually do okay in the outside world. And part of, you know, part of why I do the things that I do, some of that is just kind of like sunk cost fallacy, right? And the difficult. So what is that? That you've done something so much, you put so much effort in, you don't want to sort of leave. And the other thing is the search costs, right? Like there is a lot of search that's it's difficult to find something, and that's what we talk about with search costs. It's difficult to find outside opportunities that are outside of what you're doing, right? And there's all these kind of things that sort of pent up, and you kind of stay within this sort of nice career that you have. But at the same time, right, that I am perfectly good with who I am, and I think that message, that you don't have to change to sort of fix who you are, that you're perfectly good, that you are a decent person, regardless of how, steep the search costs are, or how large the steep costs are, how much sunk costs you actually have. I want you to come back and say, hey, I am a decent, wonderful person deep down inside, and I love myself deep down inside. And it is actually this external market of crusty, negative people that is making me feel not good inside. And so if I come back and I just simply say, I'm pretty freaking awesome. Um, and if the world, the outside world, doesn't love what I'm doing, so be it, right? And that's okay with me. And I want you to sort of think about that. That the outside world just does not care about who you are. They're going to be negative and all that kind of stuff. But then the other thing I want you to realize is that it's often just a few people that sort of do this, right? And now I'm talking about the review process, right? So it's just a few people that reject your ideas. It doesn't mean your idea is wrong. It doesn't mean anything about that. It's just a few people. And you just have to find the right people to resonate with that actually care about what you're talking about. And as you deal with this, and the rejection rates with the whole academic game is 95, 99%, like really high. You have a high chance that sort of market basically rejects you on any little tiny thing. I want you to get in the habit of saying, I'm pretty freaking awesome every time that you get rejected. And I can do this. And deep down inside, it has nothing to do with me inside. It has everything to do with them. They're unwilling to sort of see what you're doing. They're unwilling to do anything with it. Screw them. I am going to go forward and I'm going to do my thing. And I'm going to keep repeating this until something actually happens. And I've developed this over time to be okay with who I am and just be like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. If I get fired, if I lose my job, if I get a paper rejected, if any number of things, if there's a hurricane that's coming through, which there's a hurricane that's coming through today, screw them, screw it, right? Like I'm gonna be okay, and I'm just gonna walk forward. I am very good inside, and as I am very good, and my family's very good, and I tell them that, I try to love them every day, whatever that looks like. I know it's imperfect, but if I repeatedly do this, and that's the only thing that matters, is that sort of core group of protecting that and protecting whatever happens to us, man, that's them. That's the outside world, but I am going to be okay. Whatever happens today, I'm going to get through this, and I'm a decent person, and that's all that matters. That's it. And I think if you just keep coming back to that, realizing that you are just a damn freaking awesome person, man, life is wonderful. I want to repeat that. If you keep coming back to thinking that you are a wonderful person, everything else is good.